Mr. James informed Unite the People that he was a witness to the conversation Ms. Harris had, where she stated she had the gun, she fired it 3 times, Mr. Peterson grabbed her arm and knocked it down, and the gun fired 2 more times. In essence, Mr. Peterson never shot anybody, never even touched that gun, never fired the gun. This statement aligns with the statement of the only non-party witness to the case, Mr. Sean Kelly, who at trial testified he saw 2 women fighting, 2 men break up the fight, 1 man grabbed the other one's arm. Gunshots came from the passenger side. The passenger side is where Ms. Harris was sitting. This further iterates that Mr. Peterson did not shoot Ms. Pete, did not shoot at Ms. Pete, or did not assault Ms. Pete. It's just another irregularity in a list of irregularities in this case. For example, there were 3 potential suspects in the car that night, and yet the only DNA sample was taken of Mr. Peterson, even though unknown DNA was found on the gun. Why wasn't Ms. Harris's DNA taken? Or was it taken and the information simply never given to the defense? Why wasn't the driver of the car, Mr. Jaquan Smith's DNA taken? Or was it taken and again, simply not given to the defense? We don't know. It should have been taken. It is Unite the People's understanding, regular LAPD practice at a crime scene like that, anybody who's there, the DNA is taken. Another irregularity. Why, at Ms. Harris's police interview, was a non-lawyer, non-family member record company executive allowed to participate? Highly irregular situation. Normally, we see cases, strangers are not allowed in these things, but it was in this case. All of these things point to the highly irregular nature of his trial and his conviction. It is our contention that he was wrongly convicted.
What up, this is Rapids, and so in my previous Tory Lanez video, I explained everything that they said in this press conference, and I dropped that video like 2 days before the press conference. So that's why you must like this video and subscribe to make sure YouTube knows to push my videos out, because I'm dropping a lot of gems on these videos, and sometimes it takes a while for my videos to kick off. So make sure you hit that like button. Let's get over 100 likes every video. I'm gonna break down exactly what's going on with this Tory Lanez thing. Now you're hearing it from the press conference, from the lawyers himself. So Tory Lanez held a press conference with his father and a bunch of lawyers, and so I'm not sure if the bodyguard was in there, because there was a lot of people that stepped up and talked on behalf of Tory. I'm hoping one of those guys was the bodyguard. I couldn't figure that out, because to me, that's the craziest thing ever. If there was a witness, you know, the driver and the bodyguard, why didn't they speak up during the case? You know what I'm saying? Plus, you know, this is really Tory's fault. You know what I'm saying? No matter what you want to think about this case, and it seems like it's a miscarriage of justice and an innocent man is in jail, when it all comes down to it, Tory Lanez should have spoke up for himself in the courtroom. You know what I'm saying? There's no way you take that up. I mean, look, I'm not giving no legal advice, but look, if you are innocent, that's what Hurricane Chris had to do. All right? Hurricane Chris said his lawyers told him not to speak up for himself because he had unalived somebody that, you know what I'm saying, he felt his life was threatened. So he unalived that person who came up to the car. You know what I'm saying? There was an incident that happened, and you know what I'm saying, he ended up taking the stand against his lawyer's request, because he said he's innocent, he ain't got nothing to hide. So he went up there and said his story and said what happened that night. And then you got to face the prosecutors trying to cross-examine you after that. Well, that's what Tory should have done. I mean, if he had nothing to hide, first of all, it's crazy how, you know what I'm saying, this story's coming out now where, okay, I knew this for months. I've been trying to tell everybody on my channel. It's really kind of getting to me that I'm not getting these likes, because I need these likes, because I'm putting out some crazy, some real good information on these videos. So I'm telling you, with that thumper, Tory Lanez DNA was not on that thumper. And then it's real sketchy how they conducted that DNA testing anyways, because like the lawyer said, why didn't everybody get their DNA tested? If they're looking for the truth about what happened that night, everybody's DNA in that car should have been tested to see whose residue and DNA was on that thumper. You know what I'm saying? Plus, you know what I'm saying, the gunshot residue, they should have all been tested. It sounded like Tory Lanez was the one that was targeted based off of, I don't know where Megan Thee Stallion comes off saying it was Tory Lanez. She probably thought it was Tory Lanez. You know what I'm saying? Because it sounds like, to me, Megan Thee Stallion might have been walking away from the situation. It was like they was about to fight. Everybody said it was two girls fighting and then some guys breaking it up. That's how it was being presented, what happened that night. So out of that squabble with Megan and her friend Kelsey, or her ex-friend now, but somewhere along the line, she might have been walking away. And so was she running away from the thumper? Does that, if she was running from the thumper and that's why her back was turned, that means that she saw who was pointing that at her. She should have pointed out Kelsey. But I'm almost, see, the question is, did Megan know it was Kelsey, or did she really think it was Tory Lanez? See, that's what it comes down to. Because Megan Thee Stallion could be in big trouble for this. Because I personally, right now, I would have to say, I would guess that Megan Thee Stallion really thought it was Tory Lanez who did that to her. Because otherwise, she went, she was probably disorientated. Whatever happened, it doesn't seem like she saw who pointed the thumper at her. And she assumed it was Tory Lanez and went off. So what the lawyers are saying is that basically Kelsey was the one who had the thumper and was pointing it at Megan and about to body her. And then, so she was about to get slumped. And then Tory Lanez had wrestled the thumper away from her. It doesn't sound like he necessarily wrestled it away from her, but he moved her hand, like instead of letting her just let off rounds at Megan, he grabbed Kelsey's arms, and it sounds like the thumper went off twice. So I'm hearing that it might have went off a total of 3 times or something. Once from Kelsey pointing it at her, might have missed or something. Then it sounds like Tory Lanez jumped into action, and that's when the thumper went off a couple more times. It sounds like towards the ground. That must have been where the shrapnel or whatever hit Megan's feet. And so the original story, someone was saying dance, like Tory was saying dance, B word, you know what I'm saying? And like he was intentionally out here just letting off rounds at Megan Thee Stallion. That just didn't sound believable. I knew something was up with that story. Anybody with common sense should really know that, because, I mean, you got this sense inside of you where you should know when you're being lied to and stuff. You kind of know when a story doesn't sound right, when something's not adding up. Well, that's one of those things where it didn't sound like it was adding up, that Tory was saying dance, B word, and letting off rounds at her feet like a cartoon or something. You know what I'm saying? That's like how Yosemite Sam, I think, was doing that on Looney Tunes, like letting off rounds at them cartoons like Daffy Duck or something. You know what I'm saying? At their feet and making them dance. You know what I'm saying? So that's just a crazy story, like, to believe. The story that's coming out now sounds way more believable, where, you know what I'm saying, Kelsey, because it was between Kelsey and Megan. So Megan knows that much, that they were the ones fighting over Tory, because he was dealing with both of them. And then also he was, it sounds like he was getting flirtatious with Kylie Jenner at the pool party. So at that point, you know what I'm saying, they left the party earlier because it didn't sound like Megan Thee Stallion liked that he was basically flirting with everybody at the party, including Kylie Jenner or whoever it was, one of those Kardashian girls. I forget who exactly it was, but they were at her house, and I'm pretty sure it was Kylie, but yeah, it sounds like Megan got real jealous of that situation, and then they started fighting amongst each other with Megan and Kelsey because they was both dealing with him, and then so Megan definitely knows that much was happening that day, so she can't play dumb and act like she didn't know that they were the ones arguing. Her and that other girl, her and her ex-best friend were arguing. They're the ones that had the issue. And then Tory Lanez just sounded like tried to break up the situation when that thumper got pulled out. It sounds like Kelsey, now they're saying Kelsey pulled it out, which I've been knowing that because I knew that was a more believable version of the story. So Kelsey is reportedly pulled out the thumper, and Tory Lanez kept Kelsey from slumping Megan because she was about to get on alive. You know what I'm saying? Kelsey was going to let off them rounds. And it sounds like Tory, moved her arms from out the way from getting her. And so, like I said, though, Tory played himself by not taking stand. So I think Tory Lanez, for some reason, was worried about his street credibility. To me, Tory Lanez is a civilian. But I know Tory Lanez got some songs with some hitters and stuff. So I think that he has this side of him that he feels very street, but he's from Canada. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not knocking Canada or nothing, because Canadians, I'm hearing it goes down out there where Drake is from and stuff. I think they got places like Toronto or, some places out there that really go down, because they even got that Rick Ross out there. So I mean, I don't really know what it do out in Canada as far as, thumper situations. I don't really think they have a lot of that going on for some reason. I just don't know too much about Canada. But I don't know if they're as soft as some people might be thinking they are. I think they got a little bit of fight in them out there. America is like is different though. America hit different. So I'm not going to compare Canada with America, because I know that America is where it goes down at. That's where a lot of action be happening. It'd be a hot summer, a lot of these summers. And look, Tory Lanez, for some reason, was trying to protect his street credibility. I know I think he got this artist named VVS or something. I forget his name. But Tory Lanez be rapping on some of these songs. And so he got this style of rap he do where he be sounding like Drake and stuff, but then he also got a style of rap that sounds street. That's the type of rap I be liking from Tory Lanez. I didn't see too much of that from, well, y'all heard it before. We was talking about on the yard, he'll put a cash app out and get people hit and poked up and stuff and taken care of. He was saying that from his jail verses, one of his verses from jail. He was rapping that street stuff. That's the Tory Lanez rap I be listening to. The Drake style he be having, I'm not as much of a fan of, but I do like his street style when he raps. And he was talking that stuff on that song. Some people are saying that might have been part of the reason why he got poked up, is because he really was talking about how he putting cash apps out on people. You know what I'm saying? Out in the while he's been doing time, he's been taking care. I heard he's been taking care of people and getting at people, and really moving around like a boss in there that I've been hearing, like too much power type stuff, where maybe that some of the ops might have felt like, okay, we got to take him out, because I heard he was looking out for a lot of people and taking care of them, and there's all types of stuff that could have been happening. Go check out my Tory Lanez video, my last one, if you want to see all my details about what Tory Lanez's life was in jail. In prison, I mean, because I think that there was a lot going on with extortion, and I mean, it's possible that some stuff might have been going on with extortion. I know he's been freely looking out for people, though, and I know that it sounds like he been putting money on people's books, and it sounded like he was supposed to have been protected. For some reason, that morning he wasn't protected, and so he might have had that coming to him if he was putting cash apps out on people, like he said in that song. He might have had that coming. He might not have been fully innocent in that situation. You know what I'm saying? I know people might have thought he had too much power up in there, but look, Tory Lanez did this to himself though, because I'm highly disappointed he didn't take the stand. So Tory Lanez, like, to me, like I said, he's a civilian in my eyes. Like, he's a Drake. You know what I'm saying? Like a Drake, you wouldn't look at Drake no certain way if he got on stand defending himself saying, I didn't do that, this person did that. I know like a street person like Wack 100 or, you know what I'm saying, BG and Boosie and Dirk and them, that's different. That hit different where that's I could see why they wouldn't want to defend themselves and say what really happened if something went down. Like, that's the no talking code. No, you know what I'm saying? Don't tell on, don't talk to the police, have your lawyer take care of the situation. You sit there quiet. You know what I'm saying? I understand that when it comes from street rappers that are part of organizations and stuff, you know, street ties, I could understand how they'll be like, okay, they're not gonna say a word. But I didn't put that type of commitment on Tory Lanez. I just think that was goofy for him to not speak up and tell his version of the story to the jury. You know what I'm saying? I think that would have made a big difference. I mean, tell them your version of what happened. How are you going to sit there that whole court date and let the prosecutors say what they think happened and what everybody else is saying happened? And then you don't get up there and say, if it's very different from what actually happened, why not get up there and say your version of what happened and take on the cross-examination? Because if you got the truth on your side, there ain't nothing to hide, right? So you can get up there and say what happened, and if it differs dramatically from what the jury's been hearing all night, then the prosecutor's gonna come and try to poke holes in your testimony. But then if you got the truth on your side, you're not gonna fumble. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be able to make it through the cross-examination because you got the truth on your side. Everything you're saying is the truth. So when they trying to slip you up and catch you slipping on something you said wrong or perjury, you know, risk of perjury or anything, you don't got to worry about nothing because you're saying the truth. You know what I'm saying? And he should have probably even released a statement to the police that night. But I think Tory was so worried about protecting his street credibility that, you know what I'm saying, he didn't humble himself enough to just be a civilian. And, you know what I'm saying, because he could have got unalived. And, you know what I'm saying, because he's wondering why he's going through all this. His dad was saying, his dad's Sunstar, Tory Lanez, real name is Daystar. So his dad, Sunstar, was saying that Tory Lanez came to him and said, you know what I'm saying, he was saying why he's going through all this. Well, maybe why you're going through all this is because you didn't speak up and defend yourself. Who cares if your lawyer says it's probably best in your best interest not to speak up and take the stand? No, they probably think you guilty too. They saying, let me handle this my way. And then I heard that one of his lawyers or something might have been connected with Rock Nation, had some ties to Rock Nation. So, of course, they're going to try to convince you not to say nothing because Megan's with Rock Nation. So how you end up with a lawyer that's dealing with Rock Nation, you should have got yourself a better lawyer. How you end up with a lawyer like that? And it sounds like to me this was a whole political thing, a lot of political things were going on during this case where it sounds like the DA or somebody was trying to get reelected, and this was a big case for the government and all that to try to convict him. And so they're reaching out, they're crying out now, and they want him free. They were gonna wait and take their time for this appeal, go through the process, but they said they're gonna expedite everything now and do these press conferences because Tory Lanez almost got unalived, and they don't know if he's gonna make it if they send him back in there. So what they're trying to do now is try to see if they can get him out on bail or get expedited release in an appeal or something right now instead of waiting for the slow process of the courts. Because like I said, they was waiting. They had all this information ready to go, but they were waiting for the stuff to play out. You know, it's a slow process. They take their time, and they're gonna just wait it out and let it go through its process. But after what happened to Tory, now his lawyer team and every this committee to free innocent people out of jail all getting together and reviewing everything and trying and holding press conferences, trying to get him out now or get him, you know what I'm saying, free from having to go back while he's recovering. So hopefully he does that, because I really don't think Tory did it. I mean, I really think that what they're saying as far as Kelsey doing it is accurate. That's what I've been thinking. I mean, I've been saying this for, I don't know how long it's been, like years, I guess. It seems like it might have been a year. It seems like at least a year. I know since all this has been going down, and I've been saying this. I said, this is a version of the story that I believed, and now it's coming out through the lawyers that they're saying, they're pointing the finger at Kelsey, and she got immunity from the case. Why she get immunity? You know what I'm saying? Why did she get immunity? And why did she plead the fifth? Why did Kelsey plead the fifth and get immunity? So they're protecting the person that is the alleged shooter. So the state was protecting the alleged shooter. Is coming down to. It's not going to be a good look if Tory ends up finally proving his innocence, because now he can sue everybody. It sounds like he's probably going to get out and sue everybody, like the state, the DA, the Megan Thee Stallion, everybody involved. He's going to have a big lawsuit on his hand, and one of the biggest lawsuits ever, I would say, and it's going to shed a lot of light on, you know, saying how they try to railroad. It looks like people of color into the system like that, and it's not a fair shot a lot of times. So this could draw a lot of attention to make a lot of changes to the system, because I mean, you know what I'm saying, this stuff needs to stop. Like innocent people, and then now you see what's going on. They taking down everybody, like anybody with clout in the industry. It's like they trying to take down like Dirk, Diddy, Tory Lanez. Now we don't know. I don't know how guilty any of these cases are really as much. I know the case is real well, but you know, we're waiting for the evidence to continue to play out. But when it comes down to it, it just looks kind of suspicious how, and now DDG's getting kind of fingers pointing at him now. You know what I'm saying? DDG, they're trying, you know what I'm saying? So it's like they want to almost take down black men, it looks like, at this point. I mean, look, if some of these cases, I can't speak for all these cases, because that's a whole nother video to get into, to really determine like which one of these people I mentioned are innocent and which ones are not. Right now, I'm kind of leaning towards Dirk probably was not involved in that. I'm leaning towards Diddy's case seems like a little overblown, like is being exaggerated. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of my thoughts, my quick thoughts on those two cases. And then DDG, I'm hearing some stuff about that case where that's just brand new. We still got to analyze that, but it sounds like allegedly Haley Bailey might have been kind of abusive towards somebody like DDG's brother, I don't know, somebody, and they might have some evidence that she might have, you know, not be as innocent as people thought. But look, I place blame on Tory Lanez just for not speaking up during trial. You know, so I still got to point the finger at him. He's partly responsible. He's actually majorly responsible for his situation that he got himself in by not speaking up. He should have gave testimony. He should have gave a police statement and spoke up, but he was trying to keep his street credibility, I guess. So he didn't want to be on record saying, oh, Kelsey did it. And with Megan, I'm not sure about her. I don't know if she knows who did it. I think, so it's either she assumed Tory did it, she didn't really see what happened, or who was pointing what at her. There's a chance she didn't see none of that, and she just knows that she was blasted at. She might have known, you know what I'm saying? She might not have actually known. She might have assumed it was Tory, but she was so furious at Tory, and you know what I'm saying? She really was just insisting it was him, but who knows? Like, who knows if she actually knew it was Kelsey, or if, you know what I'm saying, she really didn't know what was going on. Did she know it was Kelsey? Because I really don't think it was Tory that did that to her. They said it's a 0% chance Tory did that. They said his DNA was not on that heater, and it's like the prosecutors were trying to prove their case as Tory did it instead of trying to see who did it. It was like they weren't looking for the truth. They were going based off of the testimony and saying, okay, we know it was him, just based off of, that's what we decided, they're saying. It's like they heard all the testimony and decided it was Tory. Probably because Tory wasn't speaking up. Sometimes if you don't speak up, they'll just say, oh, well, that's who did, you did something wrong because you're not speaking up, you're not cooperating. But really, that's just the code of the streets, and that's how a lot of, I guess, black people, black dudes specifically usually handle police situations. They don't want to talk to them. So that gives, from my experience, I did that too a few times, and you know what I'm saying, from my experience, it seems like they use that and say, if you're not talking to us, that means you did it. You did something. You have something to hide. That's how they look. That's how sometimes they look at that. If you, and it's like, no, it's not that you got something to hide. It's just that you don't want to talk to the police. You know what I'm saying? Even if you're innocent or not, it's just like, well, in my case, I was innocent. I just didn't want to talk to them. I didn't want to bust out. You know what I'm saying? There was an incident. I didn't want to bust out the other person. It's just like, you know, nothing happened. I mean, I didn't even say nothing happened. I just didn't want to talk. Just don't talk. Like, I'm like, I didn't do nothing to nobody, and I'm not going to point out nobody, so I just don't feel like talking or pointing out nobody. So, you know, I'm not even going to explain that to you. I'm just not talking. And then they looked at that. They took me in because it's like, okay, well, you did something then. So with Tory Lanez, it might have been something. I don't think he released a statement to the police that night, and they took that like, okay, that's it. He's guilty then. We're going to have to go off. What they say is they're going to have to go off of what they got then, the people who did talk. So in that case, you know, if somebody else was talking, they'll go off of what they said then. They said, well, you're not defending yourself, so we're going to just have to go off of what we heard, what, you know, say who is talking, and we'll go off of that version. And I think that could have been what happened with Tory Lanez. They probably, you know, whoever talked, they just went off of that. And what they had was Tory did that to her. So they said, okay, let's pursue that then. They don't got time to figure out nothing. You're not talking, you're not cooperating. Nobody's speaking up and saying Kelsey did it at the scene. So they just said, okay, well, we got whoever, Megan or somebody was pointing Tory out. So they said, let's just go with that then. And they went with that. So yeah, look, let me know what y'all think in the comment section about this case, and if Tory's going to go free or if they're going to send him back to the slammer, if he's going to end up back in prison instead of going free. I'll keep y'all updated as more information comes out. Let me know also, like, do you think Kelsey did it, or do you think and do you think Megan knew Kelsey did it, or is she straight up lying on Tory? What's up with all that we talked about in this video? So yeah, let's get 100 likes on this video. This has been Rap Hits. Make sure you subscribe and follow Rap Hits on all social media. All links are in the comment section in the description box. I'm out.